grab our refreshments after the break. And I call the meeting to order. If you could, my name's Mark Perry. I'm the current president, our board of directors here, and all the members. First, if you could stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll get started. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. We've got a good agenda tonight. We've got some great presentation by Tony Zerlo. He's going to show some exciting stuff on High on the Lake. And before we get started, we got some current items. One of the action items is the new member, and it's St. Lucie Audubon, not the St. Lucie Native Plant. So Diane Goldberg is here, and the board has recommended and voted on that. All their application was in order, and so we voted on that on Monday. So I would like to take a motion here at the board meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
New member. Any opposed? Great. Diane, would you please say a word or two about it?
It's my pleasure to join this group since you do such a great job at what you helping the environment. And I'd like to let you know that our goal is to foster knowledge, appreciation, enjoyment of nature, to encourage responsible environmental stewardship, and to conserve and restore natural ecosystems, focusing on birds and other wildlife and their habitats for the benefit of humanity and the Earth's biological diversity. In saying so, I would like to let you know that I have been sending letters out to Governor DeSantis. I was very pleased that he did respond to one of the letters in vetoing the plastic straws that they were going to prevent us from different municipalities from stopping. And one other one that I hope everybody will email him to veto would be for HB 7103, which makes it difficult for local citizens and organizations like ours to mount legal challenges for those who would violate the Comprehensive Growth Management Plan, and also SB 82, which prevents local governments. It's HB 453, which limits how local jurisdictions can regulate. Oh, wait a minute, that's not the one. Pardon me. It's SB 1400, which nullifies local rules protecting trees, and we know how important trees are today for not only our wildlife, but also because it helps clean our air and water. So that's important that we also make sure that we ask him to veto. There was one other subject, the BMPs for biosolids. It's also important for us to get in touch with Nikki Freed in Department of Agriculture to make sure that they are set for the Class B biosolids. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have members of the coalition here tonight. So what I'm going to do is ask everybody, all the members of the coalition, to stand, and then I'm going to go down and have you say your name and the association, and then you can sit down. How's that? So we're going to do it a little different. Everybody who's a member stand. We'll start right up here with Marty Baum.
That's me, Indian River Keeper. Peter Harder, Stuart Flywater.
Dan Barrett, Seagate Harbor Homeowners Association.
Todd Blasing, Lighthouse Point Homeowners Association.
Gil Ryan, Facebook.
You all can sit down once you said. Okay.
Mike Glenn, representing Lock Landing Homeowners Association.
Mike.
Glenn Kellis, Stuart Rod Real Club.
Brian.
Walter Gaber, Martin County League of Women Voters.
Next we have, let's start over there with Jackie.
Jackie Transitor, Martin County Conservation Alliance.
Jackie.
Paul Laura, Huntington Island Preservation Initiative.
Hillary Davis, U.S. Sailing Center, Martin County.
Hillary.
Martha Boston, Pebbles Island Community Action Association.
Marcy Pitkin, Treasure Coast Unity
Dave Darrenbacker. I'm with the Martin County Realtors of the Treasure Coast.
Lisa Beagle with the Surf Rider of the Treasure Coast.
Okay, and back.
George McLean, Guardians of Martin County.
Oh, George, did I miss anybody here? Well, anybody's a member?
Right here, back here.
Ricky Bearden, Martin County Farm Bureau.
Mark County Farm Bureau, welcome.
George Jones, Orca. Daryl Brand, Palm Cove Yacht Club. Jim Moore, Marine Resources Council.
Charles Grandy, President's Council of Office and Island.
And Mark Perry, Florida Ocean Ranch. All right, we did it. Great, fantastic. Thank you for Commissioner Nelson for hosting us tonight, and the City of Stuart. They've done an excellent job, and we so appreciate it. Give a hand. Okay, on our quick presentations before we get to updates, it's going to be two of them. One's a mini presentation by Lisa from the Surf Rider Foundation on, I'm sorry. Oh, any elected officials in the room? Sorry, besides Commissioner Nelson. Any representatives? Commissioner, yes.
John Addix representing Congressman Brian Matt.
Hello, John. Welcome. Glad you're here. Oh, turn off all cell phones and get $50 fine. All goes to a good cause. No, thank you very much. So,
Presidential privilege like everybody else.
that's right. There you go. Here he goes. Lisa, give it up. We're going to have a short presentation from Surf Rider and then get into our main talk.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa Beagle with the Surf Rider Foundation.
Pull it out.
You guys are breaking me in. I've never done this stuff before, so don't worry about it. Go easy on me, Pam. All right, so Surf Rider Foundation.
Airport.
You might have to hear it.
Point it up to there, up to the projector. Lisa.
Up here.
Is it on? It was just working. The slide button on the side. There.
All right, now we're in business. My 5 minutes start now?
Okay.
All right, so everybody, if you haven't heard of the Surf Rider Foundation, I'll just do a brief introduction. We are a national organization, so we're all over the United States. In the Florida area, we have 12 local chapters up and running here. Treasure Coast is one of those chapters, and we are from about the South Bureau or North Bureau area to just north of Tequesta. So that's that whole coastline all the way over to Okeechobee. That's the Treasure Coast territory. We're a non-for-profit organization, that's worth mentioning. So my time is completely 100% volunteer. Everybody on my chapter volunteers their time. There are a few people in the audience right now that are always with me doing tons of events locally, and I'll introduce you to them later on if we stick around. Anyway, we have some stats up here of kind of our involvement. We do basically anything that kind of has to do with the coastal community. We advocate for beach access, we advocate for clean water, we advocate for reduction of plastics, we go after big oil. We're giants in the advocacy world, we really are. We have a huge network of not only just volunteers, but scientists, legal teams. We have a lot of resources, and the structure that we follow is pretty extensive as far as what we do in the community and how we come in and build programs and campaigns. So I'll just be real brief with our programs and campaigns. We have campaigns or things like we want to reduce cigarette butts on the beach. So we launch a campaign, and then we have a whole process of, going after that. And we have like a way to build a committee just specifically for that process. And then we have a whole program to roll out with that is kind of privileged to the EC. They kind of delegate and hand down jobs and duties. Then other things like right now we have a Rise Above the Plastic campaign where we're kind of fighting against offshore oil drilling, things like that. We actually have a a federal lawsuit against the government, and we're coupled with Audubon Society and Sierra Club and some heavy hitters with that. But then we have these things called programs, and programs are things that we pick up that are long-running. Campaigns are kind of, they have an end in sight. Programs are long-running. So when we decide to take a program on, we create a committee around that program. So we recently adopted the Ocean Friendly Restaurant Program in this area, and we're right now building a committee to kind of execute and monitor and roll out the entire initiative, because it's pretty extensive. There's some heavy lifting work that needs to be done there. So we look for like a chair, a vice chair, secretary, treasurer, things like that. So they become like a leg of what we're already doing. The Ocean Friendly Restaurant Program is a really great way to just kind of get ahead of the plastic problem without a major lawsuit, without a major ban. It's a way to identify key restaurants in the area that want to make that bold statement that they're taking those extra steps and they're reducing their plastic output. They're also kicking things like the polystyrene, they're recycling. They don't do plastic bags for their to-go orders. They try to do reusable silverware and offer on-site dining so that they can curb some of that trash that's leaving their restaurant. And then they do the straw upon request. So it's not a total ban on straws. It's a straw upon request. Our restaurants tend to be a little hipper than that and do things like really cool glass straws, plastic silicone straws, things that are kind of like reusable that can last for a couple of years rather than just one straw that you take home in that styrofoam cup for one, day or a couple of hours and then ditch into the garbage can. So it's a huge challenge to get these ocean-friendly restaurants meeting all these standards, because it's not easy. So our committee that we're creating is going to come alongside that restaurant and support and help, and that's why we're currently in the process of building that team. So if anybody wants to come join Surfrider in that effort, I would greatly appreciate you reaching out to me directly, and we'll get you on board. I'm going to open it up real quick for some questions.
When we go to a restaurant, what can we do to encourage these restaurants to become part of it?
So skipping the straw is a great conversation. A lot of times you're going to have somebody say, well, I'm curious, why did you do that? Another thing is carrying around that really cool glass straw with you, and you bust that thing out and you put it in your glass. That tends to start a conversation with your waitress or your waiter. A lot of times people want a different option. And the restaurants don't even realize it, but in the end, not offering a straw is saving so much more money. So much more money than buying that straw. And there's some misnomers and things out there with the polystyrene. People say it's too expensive to go the other way, but we're not finding that to be true. Yes.
Lisa, today I had a conversation with a local coffee shop. He said, we had this conversation, and he said that it cost him a nickel, an increase in price if they go through paper. And maybe another option, or a couple of options, is one, could they be subsidized in some way? But also, could we start a campaign where we're encouraging people to bring those containers and to bring other straw types with them personally, to make people more aware of other options other than just going and taking a plastic straw?
So right now there are currently some milkman programs that are rolling out in places like New York and in Miami, bigger cities, and they're testing whether or not they're going to take hold and do well. And I think that's the philosophy we need to kind of edge towards, is doing away with gateway plastics altogether. And when you create an environment in which, you say, bring that reusable straw, bring that cup, bring that burlap bag, bring that container that you're going to take your to-go food in, and you just start showing up with those things, and you just make it edgy and you make it fun. That's what we're recommending. That's what we're suggesting here. So Right here.
Just got one.
I wonder why you don't mention more often plastic straws. For generations, we all use plastic straws. I mean, paper straws.
Paper straw.
I mean, me personally, I'd rather skip straw than grab for a paper straw. I don't really see the point in the straw, but I get it. I understand some people want that straw. So, I mean, it's just a preference. It's just what we're comfortable doing.
Okay, but is there a problem at all with paper straws?
No. I mean, there's the 5-cent cost. So, one more question, then we'll end.
Well, we don't use straws at home, so if you think the glass is dirty, then the drink is dirty in it. So a straw doesn't do any good. When we went to Gilbert's by Sailor's Return, that was excellent. And they even had recyclable plastic. What was the knife and fork that's made out of recycled plastic? It was
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, she makes a good point. She mentioned Gilbert's, it's our first ocean-friendly restaurant. That place is buzzing, it's happening, it's hip, it's cool. Everybody wants to be there. It's hard to get a parking spot because the place is packed. If you go by Gilbert's, they're not failing. And they're totally leading. And they're doing way above and beyond our program, so.
Recycled napkins.
Absolutely. So that's what we're building a committee to go after. Just so that you know, we're kind of taking our time with rolling this out, and we handpicked restaurants that were already kind of doing what's right so that they could be the leaders in the industry. So we picked Brown Fork Farm, Fruits and Roots, and Gilbert's. We did also do the Modern Juice, but I believe they're kind of more to go, so they're a special niche. But we're highlighting those restaurants, and that's kind of what the Ocean Friendly program does, is highlight what's already.
I don't usually have nice things to say about Commissioner Camping, but today, yesterday at the meeting, he gave out metal straws to everybody in the audience. So you ought to show up at meetings, because he had a whole lot left.
He's ready for a band, so you're gonna see a band coming, so we're working on it, get ahead of the game.
Really great, and it's personally what individually we can do when we go to a restaurant or go to a place and just say, no straws, please, just take the drink. Thanks. Let's go to our next presentation, and it's a remarkable guy who started, really pulling in all these satellite imagery and everything together, about 6 years ago when our real big bloom started in 2013. And I can't say enough about Todd Turlo and how much he's contributed to our knowledge and understanding of what's going on. So let's just give it up for Todd and give him your applause.
Thank you, Mark. And yeah, it started with Mark too. I'm going to try to get into that story a little bit. But Mark called me on Monday to see if I could pinch hit to speak, and I kind of was like, yeah, I guess I can. I don't have any notes. I'm just going to kind of wing it. Basically, it's about the website, so my notes are the website. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time going through it. Todd Weissman said he wanted my top 10. There's about 4,000 pages buried in here, so I figured one a second we can do it in about 60 minutes now. Well, we'll hit a couple high points. Ask me questions. It's really maybe, I guess, just to familiarize you with what I've got on here. What this started with, and if you don't know, I'm an attorney, I'm not a scientist, I don't know this stuff really, I'm an interested citizen like I think all you are. I have a background in computers and I like to hack stuff and get data, and I work with it at my office, and I use a lot of spreadsheets to pull in things and do calculations. So when I see these discharge numbers and things like that, I have a tendency to throw them into spreadsheets. And so I also like to mess around, and thank you, Mom, for being here, with aerial photography and Google and things like that, with historical aerial photography. And Mark gave me a call a couple of years ago. I think it was well, I'm going to pull it up. So let's pull it up. It started with this photo right here, which I'm going to find.
Wait, Todd.
Go ahead.
Show them your.
Todd, I just have to say, I've been asked this twice. If you're my husband.
Oh yeah, I am Jackie's little brother, the youngest of the kids. I'm not her husband. I don't fly a plane. I'm not a dentist. I'm an oral surgeon, and I'm known as Jackie's little brother, Sandra's son, and I didn't know Jenny had a brother. Why aren't you on Facebook? But yeah, three of us are all here. Thanks for being here. So, where is my page? So it all started with, I'm going to go to these measurements. So what happened is Mark gave me a call, and he knew I was doing these flyovers, and I might have done some stuff for Florida Oceanographic. And the good thing is, I might go a little fast. I'm going to try to pick up the pace so we can get through some stuff. This is on the internet, so it's ionlakeo, EYEONLAKEO.com. You can Google my law firm, Thurlow & Thurlow, PA. This actually started on my law firm's website because I have a site where I keep a bunch of links, and if I see something that I want, I just save the link so I can always go back to it later. But Mark gave me a call and basically said, Todd, can you take this image and put it in your Google Earth thing and tell us maybe, we can figure out maybe how big this bloom is? And I said, sure. And so we grabbed the aerial photo, geo-referenced it basically in Google Earth, you overlay it, and that's that big algae bloom that we all remember that hit CNN, it was all over the news. It kind of opened up a lot of people's eyes that, and you have to be careful with the way again, I'm not a scientist, I'm not making any conclusions. One thing you'll notice on this website, I don't conclude anything, it's just information. Information is what we need to get out there so people know what's going on, and if there's misinformation out there, we can kind of get to the real information. It just says that outline, that red area is 239 square miles. You can draw your own conclusion whether or not there's a 239 square mile algae bloom on the lake, but it was pretty obvious that was the case. So, like when I did that, I posted on the website, emailed to Jackie and Mark, and hey, I'll get, the next time the satellite makes a pass, we'll grab that's the one too, and I'll just keep posting them, and you guys can, we can do, just make it available for the public. It's kind of frustrating that we really are in the big data age, and there is just massive amounts of data being poured into the internet right now. And a lot of times people are like, why don't they make this available for us? And it really is available. It's just there's so much information. There's not enough people to grind it all and get it down to a granular level of Stuart, Florida. These databases are worldwide, and they don't have a person on it kind of saying, hey, Stuart, you guys have some stuff coming your way. We got to go get it ourselves. So that's my thing to just. I'll put it on the internet, anybody can go there and get it. And so this stuff updates daily now. So it's kind of blossomed into that, every time there's a new thing, I just keep posting and it just keeps growing. And so I ended up adding the domain name just because people started asking where it was, because it was really just at the law firm website. So let's kind of just go through it one at a time, unless anybody has any questions. For starters, right here in this menu up here, there's a description. It kind of explains what the different pages are and how the satellites pass over and where the data is coming from. Because this is not my stuff. I'm just pulling it from other sites mostly. Some of it is stuff that I've kind of grinded numbers and reposted. So the big thing is satellite imagery. You may have heard of Landsat. There's a set of Landsat satellites, and the ones that are operating right now are Landsat 7 and Landsat 8. They have a new 9 that's going to be going up pretty soon. That's the one that big image came from, the 239 square mile bloom. So that only goes over every 16 days, so it's not available that often. There's other satellites that are lower resolution, and so I can, you want to look at it every day just to see, a lower resolution if anything's showing up. So to take it in order, this is a newer page that's up now. This HAB site is actually a site that NOAA has. There's scientists that are working on this for the whole United States. They have a lot of stuff going on with Lake Erie and things like that. They post imagery. They are, not getting into the details of it, but they are using different wavelengths of light that these satellites can detect, and they're coming up with algorithms to remotely sense cyanobacteria. And so they're trying to be able to predict whether or not there's actually cyanobacteria in the blooms as opposed to just algae or other organisms. And so this is color-coded, basically showing that they're showing a presence of cyanobacteria. My little thing goes out every morning and grabs these, and they're just buried on a website. You have to open them up. The images are the whole state of Florida, so I just have a script that goes in, pulls Lake Okeechobee, cuts it, puts it next to the true color images, it's called, on the other side, because if there's clouds over here, this is not going to be reliable on the other side. And so they're always like, be careful about putting that up there because people might misread it. Well, okay, I'll put the visible on the other side so people can see it side by side, because their sites don't do that for you. And so that was Sunday. And so it's kind of ironic because Mark had given me a call on Monday. I hadn't uploaded this. I went home for lunch because I hadn't updated. I was like, whoa, well, good timing. And you can kind of see it right here. If you go home on your home computer, it shows up better on the home computer screen. There is algae right there. And I don't have to be an expert to figure that out. I mean, it's you can see it. And then Ed did take his plane out there, Jackie said, and he's got pictures of the bloom. So that's every day. You can scroll through this like a scrapbook. But you'll see the famous July 2nd of last year image in here somewhere.
There we go.
You know, so this is just kind of in chronological order. That's getting into last year. And yeah, the entire lake exploded last year. That's probably it right there. I would say this is July. It's very strange the way July 2nd seems to be every year seems to be the day. I think it was July 2nd, 16 when he gave me that call. And this is July 2nd, 18. So, you know, get ready for the 4th of July this year. You know, I hate to say that, you know, hopefully it just stays there and doesn't come our way if the lake stays low. But, you know, here's Port Mayaca right here. That's where it all comes out. So, yes?
Do you have a recollection of when the first algal blooms of the year you started to see were?
I thought you were going to say the first algal bloom that of this year?
Last year or?
Of last year? I don't remember. I mean, it's like the hurricanes. When I was trying to look at some stuff last night, I'm like,
What did it end in May?
June 1st. But you know, so all the stuff is, anybody can go and like scroll through there and you'll see it. And you can just kind of go through chronologically. I don't know off the top of my head, but yeah, if you scroll through that list, you can see when it came up. And it's interesting to see how, you know, in past years, you know, it kind of pop up in the summer and go away. But last year, it was well into December and it was still there. But I thought you were going to ask about the first bloom, and that just makes, you know, keep asking questions like that because it makes me think of stuff. So let's look at the first bloom. Sorry, I'm using some mouse here.
So again, the name of the website you're at is
ionlakeo.com. EYEON. Couldn't think of a better name, but I thought it was kind of short. So we'll get to some of these other things, but let me go to Landsat. So this was the first page of stuff that I used to get from the Landsat satellite before we started getting all these other things. I scroll down to the bottom of this, and so this I pull up manually. So I was pulling these up when these are the ones that we started with Mark's call, and I was posting them every day. But check this picture out here. Yeah, so you can kind of just go back and look at the date on the bottom of it.
Wow.
That's June 7th, 1979.
We don't know.
And so that's, yeah, we don't know there's cyanobacteria in there or anything, but you see that stuff. And that's the kind of things like, I don't know, I mean, I was a kid, I wouldn't have known anyway. But, you know, the algae, there's been algae on the lake before, obviously, and, you know, did we know about it? When you see this is Landsat 7, it says down the bottom. It has a broken instrument that makes these black lines across it, so that's just the way they are. These satellites are pretty amazing the way they work. I mean, this thing is cruising at 17,000 miles an hour when it goes over the lake, and that's called a whisk broom scanner. So it's going like this as it's flying by at 17,000 miles an hour, and so the thing's broken, so it's kind of missing the sweep. The resolution, in that description, I have it in there because I can't remember all this stuff either. I think it's 250 meters of resolution. I might be wrong. 250 might be the low resolution stuff. This one might be 30 meters. 30 meters? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Quickly go over the different satellites.
So I started to talk about the different satellites. So and it's interesting to try to figure out how all these government organizations work together. Who's with who? NASA is an independent government agency. The USGS is in the Department of the Interior. NOAA is part of the Department of Commerce. They all kind of work together. Department of Defense is a partner on some of these satellites. Probably got some spy stuff on them. But the satellites, so we have Landsat, which is the USGS satellites that go back to Landsat 1. Like that 1979, I think was like a Landsat 3 satellite from the 70s. So you have this Landsat series, which is higher resolution, only come by about every 16 days. They stagger them so the ones come by every 8 days. The moderate resolutions ones they call, I'll go to that right here. So I used to pull those up by hand too, and that's this archive you see down here, this art, you know. So you got Terra, Aqua, Sumi, I think is the way it's pronounced. These are lower resolution satellites, and these things take an image of the entire planet every day. I mean, you're talking about just data coming in, and this is just a little slice of it. There's all different spectral things they're doing with plants and water, everything. But so so this is an entire global picture, and so this is me saying I just want like Okeechobee, so I've got my little like link, and I used to just like hit save post, Jackie, I'm gonna work, you know, and you know, look at it later. So this right here, so those are the low resolution satellites. Those are all U.S. satellites. The other one that's in that folder with the Landsat satellite is the Sentinel satellites, and actually that HAB stuff comes from the Sentinel satellite. That's a European satellite run by the European Space Agency. They have a whole series of them, but that's Sentinel 3, I think, and there's 2 of those, just like there's 2 Landsats, and they have them staggered. And it only comes by every once in a while. So we're seeing the algae on the lake right now. So you can see it immediately. This is the update to me not having to do it manually anymore. I put this out there for you guys. So you see how it says Terra, Aqua, Sumi, last 7 days live update. So I took my links, I put them in a page, and I said, let's just paste my link in here 7 times 3 satellites. So this is going to do 21 queries, hopefully, yeah. So this is querying live right now. 21 queries, 3 different satellites, 7 days, bam. Just pulled it up. This image just came up. Before I stood up to speak, that image was not there. You see how this image is not there? These are the satellites that just went over today. This one went over at noon. These 2 went over at 3. And so this one hasn't posted yet. And so this is if you want to see what's, about as quick satellite imagery as you can, just go to my page, because this thing will pull it up without having to dig it up on some USGS website. So it's kind of funny how you don't see it, but you see it here. And it doesn't really show. I notice when I look at it on my phone, I don't see it, but when I'm sitting on my desktop, your desktop computer will have a high resolution. But again, it was this Saturday, so you see the date here. This says Saturday, May 18th. And so that's Terra, Aqua, Sumi. And it's like I don't see it on this projector, but I'm pretty sure Saturday you see a little fuzzy spot up there. Yeah. Sunday. Go home and look at it, you'll see more. So that's when it's like, wow, let's look at the high resolution satellite. So then you go to the schedule and you say, okay, when's Landsat coming by? I took a look at it, they're both going to be coming by on Friday. And